All right, everyone, welcome back. We are at Techno Security 2022, and we're in Myrtle Beach, and I have Ryan Parthemore with me. How are you, man?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem. Hey, thanks for being a victim or a subject or a guest here on the show. I really appreciate it. Now, granted, normally I give my guests a lot rougher of a time, but I don't know you well enough yet to do that. Usually, I require it's a requirement that hey, I got to spend one night at least out having a couple drinks before our interview because I got to get a little dirt, but I don't have any.
We got out of order on that,
yeah,
so we're gonna have to do the drink a little bit later after I beg to differ, and
I'm all in.
Okay,
I'm all in with it. Absolutely. So obviously, people can probably see from your shirt, you're with Cellebrite. Tell me a little bit about what you do over there.
So at Cellebrite, I'm a product evangelist, and fancy title, but basically what that entails is education. Okay. And it's internal and it's external. So it's about going out into the market and letting the market educate me so that I understand what the pain points are, where the manual processes are, where we can do better. And then I take that back into Cellebrite so that we can innovate. And then the reverse is also true, because once we innovate, we need to get that information out to the market where it's actionable. Because what good is a solved problem if the people we solved it for don't know about it?
Right.
So that's basically me. It's about exchanging information, figuring out from our users what's going right, what's going wrong, and then exchanging that information back and forth. And specifically, I do that within our investigative management pillar, which is brand new to Cellebrite. Investigative management is, a little bit different from the other, solutions that we offer, like in collection and review, for example, or investigative analytics. Investigative management is about managing that relationship between investigator and examiner.
That is quite the job. You get your hands full, for sure.
No doubt.
Absolutely. So I want to, I usually pry for stories, and I know I didn't prep you enough for this, but what's one of the most interesting things, and I know I'm catching you off the cuff, so I'll keep talking while you're thinking about it, is one of the most interesting scenarios that did, or a case that maybe comes to mind that you helped with, and that you helped the client essentially solve what they were looking for through the powers of Cellebrite, right?
So I think one of the most interesting things is it's not some kind of home run, hit it out of the park, like, wow, I can't believe they did that kind of thing. What I think is the most interesting thing is that in the community right now of forensic examiners, we have incredibly high technology where we can take exploits, get into locked devices, and get that data out so that we can get the bad guy. That evidence becomes actionable and we can get the bad guy. What's most interesting to me and most surprising is that what we do next sits in stark contrast, really, to that high-tech approach. Because, and it's what I mentioned in a session earlier today, we have at Cellebrite the original UFED device, if you remember it.
Oh, yeah.
Hardware device, you plug the phone in one side. What'd you plug in the other side? USB,
yeah,
USB
right
drive.
on. What
do we do today? We employ these great tools, cutting edge tools. We still put them on a USB drive.
Yep.
And what were USB drives really designed for? It was temporary transport. Like, I need a copy of this so I can go work on it elsewhere.
Right.
And we're using that for evidence storage. And to me, that's a problem.
It's really scary, actually, when you think about it.
Yeah, and we have agencies now that we talk to that are bringing these USB drives out of evidence, maybe 6-7 years later, still within the time frame that they're required to hold it for under statute of limitations and their compliance, but they don't work anymore because it's not the solution that's durable enough for this long-term storage.
Wasn't designed for that long-term stuff. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. And we're going to jump back and forth between your role at Cellebrite and learn a little bit about you, because obviously this is the first time we met in person.
It is.
So I've stalked your LinkedIn a little bit
Likewise.
to learn about you. But I want the listeners and the viewers to kind of get to know you a little bit. So tell me about your past. How did you get started in this crazy field, and then we'll kind of bring you up to where you are now.
Sure. So I started in information technology. So I was IT, managing Windows networks and Exchange email servers, Windows NT days, right? To take us back to that, and I got bored. So I decided to enter law enforcement, and did so over 20 years ago as a patrol officer. And it didn't take them long to put two and two together and figure out, hey, this is somebody we're going to send to school for what we now know as digital forensics. We called it, computer examinations and computer forensics at the time.
Right.
So, started doing that kind of dual purpose between patrol and computer forensics, became a detective, digital forensics examiner, and then wound up leading a digital forensics lab for a local prosecutor in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so then I got tapped by Cellebrite to come over and kind of take some of that experience with the pain points between investigator and examiner and help them with this brand new pillar, like I mentioned, investigative management. And the product of that is our brand new solution, Cellebrite Guardian.
Cellebrite Guardian. Now, I'm not familiar, I have to confess, so I'm going to ask you to elaborate a little bit on Cellebrite Guardian.
Sure. So Guardian's mission is to eliminate all of these pain points that I talked about, manual processes and pain points, right? So what we found, typically, we can almost script it. We talk to investigators and examiners and say, okay, what do you have to do when you have this device? You need this device examined. And they say, the investigator's going to tell us, well, I got to fill out some paperwork. Maybe it's a web form, maybe it's actually 5-part form like it was when I started.
All right.
I got to tell the examiner about my case and who I am, how to get a hold of me, what the items are, and what I want them to do with it, objectives and that. And then the examiner is going to tell us, well, when I get that paperwork from Kevin, I'm going to have to enter that into our system.
Right.
And that system could be an Excel spreadsheet, an Access database, it might be a laboratory management system, but there's something that's managing backlog and queue, right?
Sure.
And then we talk to examiners all the time that say, yeah, I got these paper worksheets for chain of custody, and then I have another set where I document all my findings. Like, what tool did I use? What version? What did I get? What's the serial number? What's the IMSI? And we actually talk to examiners that are handwriting these long numeric strings
Oh my gosh.
onto paper.
They're handwriting IMSIs and
So-
MEID and all those fun stuff, yeah?
So we got great technology out there
Right.
from a variety of vendors that do an awesome job getting at the data.
Yeah.
But what we do with it, not the most high-tech approach. So that's where Guardian comes in, and it's about providing the investigator with an easy web portal that they can submit evidence.
Okay.
And also monitor the status, so they're not calling you
Right.
saying, "Hey, what's the status of this? Have you gotten to it yet?" When
So
they can monitor it in real time.
That's great.
Our examiner is using a web-based tool in the cloud that they are receiving evidence, they're managing, they're documenting other steps. They can actually pull in their extraction summaries from other tools
Right.
and use it to populate worksheets automatically. We have templated reporting so that instead of, like you and I probably did, I know I did, I would borrow verbiage from my last report.
Heck yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's no different than
Right.
what we did on a DUI stop,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we observed unsafe driving, we detected the odor of an alcoholic beverage, numerous cues of intoxication, and we placed them on. We do it all the time on
Yep.
forensic reports. We just grabbed the last one. It was great then, it should
Yep.
be great now.
Yeah, there's always some basic elements of everything that you need to have in there, and they're always true. So, yeah, just keep putting them in.
They are right up until the fact that you borrowed from an Android report when you're talking about an Apple.
Right.
And then it becomes problematic.
Right, exactly.
So what we do with the templated reporting is write the report for you, at least a lot of it. You know,
Yeah.
so we take that worksheet data, put it into human readable narrative. But I think probably the coolest thing that we're doing with Guardian, what gets the geek in me excited, is that for the first time we have cloud review of UFDRs. So our examiner can take a UFDR, throw it into the cloud, and our investigator's getting an email that says, hey, examiner's done with your stuff.
Yeah.
Click here to review. No more worried about how much RAM you have and what you have open in the
No
background, that you're actually reviewing that in the cloud. And even beyond that, instead of making a copy and throwing it on a thumb drive to give to the prosecutor or
Right.
whomever, you're just clicking share and looping them into. So that's what gets the geek in me excited.
Really, that's pretty awesome. Actually, it's a lot. So, what are some use cases now? Is this something that, and again, I apologize, I'm not all that familiar with the product. is how would that be deployed? How is something like that set up? Like, is it set up at the agency level, or is it set up for? I guess tell me how that works.
So there's two different elements. We have the Guardian Investigator Portal, which is investigator facing.
Okay.
Super simple to use, no training required, right? It's just a wizard you can click through. And then we have the other side of it, which is examiner facing, and that's what's managing all the chain of custody, doing your barcoding, your worksheets and reporting, and giving the ability to upload all those deliverables. I should add, it doesn't matter if it's not just a Cellebrite specific file formats. You can upload anything to this.
Oh, no kidding.
You're using your entire, I'm a firm believer that you can't just have one tool.
Right.
So you can take everything in your toolbox, whatever the outputs and deliverables are, throw them in EO1, raw bid, the output of another vendor's tool, throw all of that in, you select what goes back. As far as the architecture, it's 100% cloud, operating on a SaaS model.
Okay.
So you can go in, if we go in, you're the chief of police and you have examiners, or you're the DA, whatever it may be. We will spin that up for you, and then you will set up your investigator portal agencies. Maybe you're a regional, maybe you're just working your own police department. Maybe you're doing neighboring police departments. Maybe you're the state police and you have hundreds, if not thousands, of contributing agencies. Right. You do all that. You can configure all of that yourself.
That's phenomenal. That's great. So you guys handle most of the heavy lifting, and you make it pretty easy then for everyone.
Yeah, it's super easy, and I mean, in full disclosure, we're leveraging our partnership with Amazon Web Services.
Okay.
In the United States, we're operating within the Secure Gov Cloud.
That was my next question.
Outside the United States, I'm doing your job for you.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, man, make it easy for me.
So AWS Gov Cloud within the United States. Outside of the United States, we can spin up. There's always going to be data sovereignty concerns, right? If I'm in Canada, I want my data in Canada. So we can spin up in any AWS availability zone in the world.
Nice, and they're pretty much everywhere, right? I mean,
pretty much everywhere. I mean, we launched in the UK just a few months ago. We have some exciting opportunities coming up in the UK, so more to come.
Yeah. So, and I know back in the day, right? A lot of agencies were fearful of the big mysterious cloud, right? It's like, where's my data going? Where is it? What can I guess you tell them to help reassure them that data is safe? Other than if they know about AWS Gov Cloud, it's really secure. What kind of other elements can you do to kind of reassure that that data's fine?
Well, the nice thing for us, the convenient thing for us, is we're dealing with the digital forensics community, and so we're already dealing with a pretty savvy bunch. Yep. That's a good thing. But what we do is we go through all of the checks and balances that we have put in place, where we talk about encryption of data in storage and at rest, right? Everybody knows that, and that's an easy one. But then we get into things that are a little bit less obvious, like ISO compliance, SOC 2 compliance. Those compliance frameworks, they exist for a reason, right? Oh yeah. So leveraging those helps check a lot of boxes and build confidence. We also have a very extensive security document that goes through all of our policies and procedures, such as the minimum rights possible to our Cellebrite employees, as far as roles and responsibilities and outlining what those are. So it's really a step-by-step process. It's like one course of brick at a time, right? Yeah. To show how strong the overall infrastructure is.
Wow, that's amazing. You guys have covered pretty much everything. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here. From like the smallest agency could utilize something like this, all the way up through SOC, government SOC. I mean, large, huge agencies. Yeah. Yeah,
absolutely. We're dealing with federal agencies right now, talking with them, and what they're doing with digital evidence, with physical evidence, all the way to state and local agencies that are more the size of like where we came from.
Right. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I think you answered all of my questions already. I was like, I got to get him. I got to get a zinger in there somewhere, make him think. No, you just nailed it.
You didn't even get to use one of your buttons.
No, I didn't. Let's do one.
There
we go. One of the buttons happened. That one's the better one there.
I knew it was going to be the green one. My goal was not to trigger the green one. So
that was actually an accident, but it happened. It was the universe saying, trigger it. It's all you. Ryan, thank you, man, so much. I really appreciate your time today. And hopefully maybe one day you could come on a longer one where we're not limited by the live environment shortness of it and kind of show.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, love Absolutely. Thank you so much. I got something for you, so don't run away yet.
Okay.
I'm going to wrap up right here with this, and you stay put.
Sounds
All right,
great.
guys, that's literally day 2. Actually, there's a little bit of the conference left here, but I'm going to go in and look in the hall a little bit. I haven't had a chance to get in there. If you ever get a chance to come to Techno, next year, you already know this, maybe not, it's not here anymore. They've moved it. It's sad. It's really kind of sad. But it's in Wilmington, right? They're moving it to Wilmington, North Carolina. Really looking forward to that venue. So make sure you follow Techno. And hey, wait, where can they go to find more information about Guardian?
So you can head to Cellebrite.com, but probably the best way is just to reach out to your account executive.
Hey, there you go. So just reach out right out. And I'm sure there's a bunch of information on the website, right? Cellebrite.com is the site
Yep,
that
absolutely.
they want to go to. All right, guys, that is it. We're going to wrap up this day, and we'll be back tomorrow. So again, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel this week. And then that little bell icon. I know I keep saying it, but I can hear my kids. And my kids are the biggest thing when it comes to YouTube, to tell me, hey, Dad, you got to tell them like and subscribe. That's the way it works. I'm like, well, I tell you what. I just hit the little bell. And that way you get notified as we go through and go live throughout the day. So other than that, we're at Techno Security 2022. Everybody, thank you so much, and we will see everybody tomorrow. Thanks again, Ryan. I appreciate it.
Thank you.